on Curiosity Stream. He allows them their riches.
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
In exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Hello, here we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3665. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And the Men's Room. What's up today? It is a random question to question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: rappers and superheroes. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room shout of the day, fundable listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted. Clack, clack, drink. All right, here we go. This is not good news in England, as just last year, 2,000 dentists up and quit their job. Meanwhile, the National Park Service releases a PSA so a bison won't cause your body to throb. Texas driver comes up with a unique way to bring his lumber home. Florida woman pulled over for DUI, breaks out and dance like a club filled with foam. And a DoorDash delivery driver saves a customer's life. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, people make false accusations all the time, and they're not always lying, but sometimes they're just flat out wrong. Case in point, a man in Gig Harbor was shot by another customer at a grocery store. Why? Because customer number 2 thought customer number 1 was shoplifting. Well, he wasn't, but he was shot anyway. In Chicago, 2 cable installers. They were fired on by an angry homeowner who thought they'd stolen his dog. They didn't steal his dog, but he assumed they did, so he fired his gun at them. Good news is, at least he missed. And then there's the story of a woman in Peru. Now, she was accused of being dead after being in a serious car wreck. They even loaded her into a coffin and started the funeral, but the funeral was interrupted when she rudely started knocking from inside of the coffin. Surprise, everybody, surprise. Then the story actually gets worse. Now, that said, these are just some of the stories we've come across, stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show on the Random Question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the cellos, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3665. And a large and a charged program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, that is a fact. The exciting return of Your Guess Is As Good As Mine in our categories that you get to choose from today. Last week, believe it or not, was National Superhero Day.
Of course it was.
We'll celebrate today on Your Guess Is As Good As Mine with the top 10 greatest superheroes of all time.
Yeah. All right. Popular-wise,
now keep in mind, over 130,000 people voted on this. there's a lot more young votes involved than you would think.
Oh, boy.
So a lot of the classic superheroes, so to speak, maybe not necessarily reflected based on the fact that they just haven't put out any movies lately or anything of popularity lately, or you think to yourself, surely they're in there. Then you realize, oh man, they're not even in the top 10. Give you an idea, Superman, not in the top 10.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. So
they haven't been able to make a good Superman movie.
This is what I'm saying.
Right.
So now it's all about the movie, not about the history, the comics.
Right. I mean, I'm sure as far as the comics go, before the movies even came out, yeah, everybody liked Superman. That's why they made the TV series and all the action figures and whatnot. But every movie that's come out, I don't think that there's been a movie that the fan base has been happy with yet.
But doesn't Superman kind of like Luke Skywalker and the whole Star Wars thing, where it's like you're important, but rarely are you actually anyone's favorite character. You know what I mean? Like, you're a good guy, I get it, but you're not exciting.
Yeah, but we have the top 10 superheroes of all times, and your other category, as they finally did the math on the year that was 2021 in the music industry, we have a list of the 10 highest earning hip-hop artists.
Ooh, all right.
And I'm telling you what, that is a lot. There is a lot of money in hip-hop as far as the money you make, album sales, all the different acquisitions of different businesses, and people selling off those businesses to make a little coin. But to give you an idea, there was a three-way tie, $25 million. That was number 10. So everybody else made substantially more than that. The top hip-hop earner last year made $470 million in 1 year. To give you an idea. So those are categories coming up with Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. And as we do every Monday through Friday here at 6 o'clock, we head on over for the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you haven't got the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That goes live at 6 when we bring you more Men's Room. And the rules that apply to these airwaves don't necessarily apply there. So there's cussing involved. There's topics involved that are not kid-friendly. So we encourage you to listen. We encourage you to not listen around your children and your family members for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And today is the day that we do our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Jess. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Jess, welcome to the program and the random question. All right, Jess, we'll start with this one. What would you say is the craziest story involving your family or a family member? The story that should be told. As soon as we mention your family, oh yeah, Jess had a cousin who... Jess had an uncle who did blank.
Okay, well, it's really hard to narrow it down to one story, but the first one that comes to mind is my dad. So back when Pirates of the Caribbean, the most recent one, I want to say, when it came out, my ex-husband and my dad and a friend of ours, we all went to the IMAX theater to go see this movie, and I was really excited. You know, we're big fans of the movie series and all that stuff, and so my ex-husband and I had brought in some Sailor Jerry rum with us, you know, because pirates.
Yeah, that's why. Of course, yeah.
Pirates. So we bring in this bottle of rum, and my dad, and he doesn't drink very much. I mean, he smokes a lot of weed, but he's kind of a lightweight when it comes to drinking, and he had already kind of tied one on before we even got into the movie theater. And so we're passing this bottle back and forth between the four of us. And my dad was just being super annoying. Like, people were shushing him, and we were still watching the previews. Like, the movie hadn't even started yet. And so my dad got irritated because I told him, I said, Dad, shut up. You know, they're just trying to like not stand out, and people were getting annoyed with him. And so he was like, well, I'm going to go out and have a smoke. So he goes outside, and he forgot to bring his ticket stub with him, so they wouldn't let him back in. And my roommate, at the time he was our roommate, our friend that was with us, but our friend went out to go look for my dad because he hadn't come back yet. And so then the movie starts, and neither one of them came back. And so we get out of the movie theater after it was all said and done, and it was like probably, I want to say it was like close to midnight. It was a later movie that we went to see, and our buddy was our designated driver, and he had the car keys. So we're out there at the Pacific Science Center, you know, like the IMAX theater there, and we're locked out of the vehicle, and our phones are almost about dead, and we had no idea where our friend was or my dad. Turns out my dad, when he was completely belligerent and, you know, tanked or whatever, like, he went out and he tried to cross the street, and I guess he didn't have the right of way, and this car started honking at him. And so this is what my friend told us after the fact, but this driver wasn't having it, and they basically hit my dad. They drove into him, and he went flying. He broke both of his arms, and he was in both of his arms. Like, he had to have reconstructive surgery on both shoulders, and it was bad. And so, yeah, that's the one story there about crazy family stuff. And my mom, she basically was his caregiver, and they were separated at the time, but they ended up getting back together, probably as a result of her taking care of him and having to wipe his back in.
There's the romantic. You get hit by a car, and you find out who loves you, Jess. That's how that works.
Okay. Louise West, what's the craziest story involving your family? Did she even take a breath?
No.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She could like be the deep dive champion of the world.
She might be.
Yeah,
she might be.
Holding your breath for like 6-7 minutes at a time. That is amazing.
I just want to say for the record, I still love the fact that when my one cousin was born, my dad and two of my uncles were in a fight in a bar. Some guy walked behind and said, like, out of the way, shorty, to one of them.
And this is the day your cousin.
They were celebrating the birth.
Well, no, my aunt's in the hospital. So you know how there's time in between, so they go out to get some drinks or whatever. I mean, this is before I'm born, whatever, but that story is just legendary. Like, wait a minute, all three of you got in a fight? And it's like...
Is it one of those stories where, like, they're still in trouble for it? Like, there's certain family stories you go back and you laugh at these things that have happened. Then there's some things where even though you bring it up, and it was 40 years ago, like, certain people are still pissed.
Oh, no. It's more of just a hilarious story, because it's like, the dude is not a small man. He says something like, out of the way, shorty, or I'm trying to think of a more insulting thing to say to a short person. So one of them chirps back, that guy says something, and then within a minute, it's like, one of the uncles is getting punched, and the other one's like hanging onto his back, trying to get him on the ground.
I think the craziest story involving my family was with my stepfather's family when we were living in Detroit, Michigan. So my stepfather and a couple of his cousins, they promoted boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So boxing was big in the 70s, obviously in Detroit with the Conch Gym and everything else.
Right.
So they rented out a ballroom. They had a really good local undercard on it, and the boxing was top notch back then, really was. But the heavyweight fight was always going to be the fight that closed the night, and so they brought up like the Southern champion. I can't remember what the guy. He was either from Florida, Georgia, something like that. Right. But he was going to take on the main guy in Detroit. All right, they have the field house sold out. They have sold every single ticket in there. I think the guy who was supposed to come up and get into a fight, they ended up arresting him for something.
Okay.
All right. So he is in jail for whatever reason. So he can't make the fight.
All right.
But instead of calling off the entire fight, you got to remember this is the days of a black and white poster with a picture of one dude. You need a picture of the champion, but it's just like a headshot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like you have all these little circle headshots. So my uncle, Rudy, he decides that they're just going to get a guy that they know out of Columbus who's a heavyweight, and he is going to be this guy.
So they don't even say it's a different fighter.
No.
Oh,
he is the guy from Florida. He is going to come up because nobody knew. You couldn't fact check it back then.
All right.
But let's hope that nobody from Columbus was their idea, was going to be in that arena that night and know that guy was a journeyman fighter. He was older. He was not in great shape, but he was also one of those guys who my uncle knew him through other associates because he worked in a gym where my uncle knew the guy who ran that gym.
Right.
He called his buddy and said, hey, man, do you have anybody that can get up here and do this?
Who looks a little bit like this.
I will pay him X amount of money in cash. Can you get him up here today? We just found out this is guy. So I guess he gets in the ring, and this guy lasts. And this guy's the champion. Now keep in mind, this guy's the champion. The guy from Detroit knocks his ass out in 15 seconds with what looked to be a ghost punch.
All right.
So he's already been told to take a fall. All right. So
the replacement guy or the
replacement guy.
Okay.
He's already been told to take a fall. Not 15 seconds into the fight.
He just wanted to get paid and get out, man.
I'm not sure if he got nicked and did go down, you know what I mean? Because he was acting like he was knocked out. But the whole arena stands up and boos. And my grandfather, I guess, runs to the ticket office where my grandmother's working, and she's got all the money. She's got the box of money, right? So he tells her, gives her the keys and says, get in the car and drive the F out of town. You know what I mean? Because everybody knew where everybody lived.
Yeah.
Lived kind of, it was a neighborhood thing. So he didn't want her going back to the house with all that money. So he sent her out of town to spend the night like at her cousin's house or some crap. And they threw the fight. And I mean, apparently people were throwing crap. The people were demanding their money back. It was just one of those things I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. It was like 73.
It's kind of awesome though, man.
73, 74, somewhere in there.
I have a friend who they did some boxing promotion for a minute, but same thing. Like it's very tough, right? Because there's so many people out there that'll promise stuff or whatever. But same kind of deal happens. But I don't know why. Any of those bad promotion stories always end with somebody taking the money
and
giving it to somebody and be like, just get the hell out of here.
Run, you got to go.
Reason we asked what's a crazy story involving your family. A funeral in Peru was dramatically interrupted after knocking was heard from inside the coffin. The family of Rosa Calaca had gathered to pay their final respects on April 26th. Rosa had been involved in a serious crash on a roadway. Accident claimed the life of her brother-in-law and left her nephews with serious injuries. They were still in the hospital. Well, she had been pronounced dead following the crash and later was loaded into a coffin ahead of her funeral. But when relatives hoisted the wooden structure under their shoulders, they began to hear some strange sounds coming out of the coffin. Hey. So they lowered the coffin and opened the lid to find a weak but very much alive Rosa peering up at them. The cemetery caretaker said she opened her eyes and was sweating. I immediately went to my office. We called the police. Well, shocked relatives rushed Rosa, still in the coffin, to the hospital. Once there, Rosa was found to have weak signs of life. She was hooked up to a life support machines by medics. Unfortunately, her condition did deteriorate, and she tragically died just a few hours later. But either way, her family, who had to say their farewells twice, they are now demanding answers on what happened in those 2-day period between the time
2 days
between the time that she was involved in the car wreck and the funeral. So
I mean, that feels fair to be pissed about that.
She was still alive the entire time, but
she'd been in a box for 2 days.
Well, not necessarily in a box, but she'd be in the.
But wherever you were, right?
They weren't paying attention to you,
right? And then you. Well, to be fair, though, right? I work in a morgue. I'm coming into my shift. Miles, you're leaving. You say this person is dead. Put them in the freezer. I'm not thinking I need to pay attention to them.
Right.
You know, once you tell me someone's dead, I'm like, okie doke.
Random.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the program. Random question. We're going to get really random today. Just all kinds of weird stuff here. Let's do this one. This is a crazy question, but what the hell? Do you have an opinion one way or the other about breadsticks? Do they matter to you? I mean, seriously. Would you rather just have the pizza, or do you want the breadsticks?
I mean, I really like the Olive Garden breadsticks. I Domino's breadsticks or whatever. I can take them or leave them. I don't like the hard style breadsticks. I like the soft style.
I agree.
Do you dip them in a garlic butter sauce, or do you dip them in a marinara?
I prefer the marinara, but I'll go either. I texted in last week when you guys were talking about the Olive Garden. I'm actually Italian, and my grandparents were like, my grandfather's older brother was actually born in Italy. Like, they were that new to this country, and they loved Olive Garden. It was like their favorite place. I have no idea why.
I remember your text, man, because that surprised me. Like, if somebody visits from Mexico City and you take them to Taco Bell, they're like, come on, man. So I figured it'd be the same thing with Olive Garden. But yeah, I remember your text saying, like, dude, they're off the boat Italian. They loved it.
As far as bread as an appetizer in restaurants, is Olive Garden superior with their breadsticks? Are they head and shoulders better than any other bread you could get in a basket?
Here's my problem.
They're buttery and they have like garlic. I mean, I guess you could say they're the best out there, but also like I don't know many places that have breadsticks like that as an appetizer.
But also, it's bread, man. So unless you make bad bread, it's hard. But it depends where I'm at. So my problem with Olive Garden is like, look, your breadsticks are very good, all right? But I would think your check value per ticket goes down, per table. Because I'm starting to fill up on bread. So now when I'm looking at your menu, like, I'm going to order something smaller because I'm loading up on bread. But like when I order pizza, like they show up with the pizza. And I rarely eat them.
I was going to say, when we get them here at work, they're just not my thing.
I want the pizza. And it's not that they're bad, but I'm like, they show up at the same time. I'm going to eat my meal and then get to the breadsticks. At Olive Garden, they keep bringing them out before I've ordered anything. And I'm like, well, I'm not hungry now.
All right, let me hit you with this, though. What about the Pizza Hut breadstick?
They're delicious. They're tremendous.
Yeah.
And I might eat a breadstick per slice, but my point is, I'm still eating my pizza with the breadsticks. Olive Garden, if you bring them to me in advance, like, I'm not hungry anymore.
See, I think if I get a pizza, I'm getting any other appetizer other than more bread. If they have wings, I'll get wings. If they have anything else, I'll get something else. Because I'm getting...
Because doesn't the crust really your breadstick at the end?
That's all I'm getting, right?
Right, because you're going to dip a breadstick in marinara. And I hear what you're saying, but the breadstick, quote-unquote, that I get out of the crust of my pizza, it's like a breadstick. It has the Parmesan. It has bits of melted mozzarella cheese on it. There's a little bit of marinara, so I rarely order the breadsticks when I order pizza.
See, I'm pro breadstick. garlic knots, all that stuff.
Dude, look, I'm down. I am. But I feel like it's a different, I don't know what it is. Olive Garden, I tried not to eat the breadsticks, even though they're delicious. If we went to a pub and we got pub grub, like, get the hot pretzels, get the garlic knots.
I told you one day I was just hanging out with a chick, and I was like, you know what? We'd had a few drinks. Like, let's just be ballers today. And we ordered wings and breadsticks from Pizza Hut and got a pizza from Pagliacci.
Ooh. You know, I rarely eat bread before dinner, but I admit we were at a restaurant yesterday. My parents wanted to see the grandkids and take us out or grab lunch. I cannot remember the name of the place. Like, it's like Mama something that also starts with the letter M. It's in the University District. Can't remember. Either way, it's like 25th and God damn it. Anyway, they were all with focaccia. All right. And normally I'm not going to do it because I'm looking at their menu and everything on the menu looked good. It was good, but I'm like, I'm not going to load up on bread. And I watch everyone at the table grab a piece of this focaccia. What got me was goddamn olive oil with the balsamic in it.
Yes.
And I grabbed myself a big-ass hunk of focaccia, but I rarely do that before I've eaten.
Mama Melina?
Mama Melina,
Is
thank
a big
you.
building that sits by itself? It's huge.
It's kind of on a corner.
Yep.
It's on an intersection. Yeah, and trust me, go there.
I've been
Man,
there.
the food's good. The service is great. The drinks are really on point, but it's one of the first times I've eaten
Kind of by
bread
the
before
Burt
my
Gilman
meal.
Trail.
Yes, it is.
Far away from where it crosses the street.
Right there, yeah.
Reason we asked, do you have an opinion about breadsticks? A 71-year-old woman in Oklahoma. Her name is Rachel Schurman. She went to the drive-thru at Little Caesars last month and ordered 2 pizzas and 1 Crazy Bread.
Crazy Bread.
Well, a 17-year-old employee there told her that they were out of Crazy Bread. And so Rachel, she went ballistic. She shouted, "Are you serious?" and repeatedly asked him if he wanted, quote, a diploma, which we're thinking is her taking a shot at his education level. Either way,
God's sake.
Then she called him the N-word and asked if that hurt him over breadsticks. He said no. So she slapped him across the face. The incident was all caught on video over Crazy Bread. The police asked Rachel about it, and she said, quote, "I was joking around with the kid. You know how it is.
No.
I'm harassing him like I always do." She also admitted to slapping the kid and said she called him the N-word, but only one time.
Oh.
She's just joking.
And
She's just having fun.
In security footage, she seems to be laughing afterwards.
Yeah.
It finally took a couple of weeks, but 71-year-old Rachel was eventually charged with 1 count of malicious harassment based upon race. The victim said he'd been working at Little Caesar since October. He did not remember ever seeing her there before, but he hoped she wouldn't come back.
That's fair. That's fair.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-421-ROCK. Apparently people really care about breadsticks.
They do. Breadsticks are
Miles,
an important
they do.
thing, man. Somebody here, you said, as far as what you dip them in, marinara or garlic butter, they said, man, mix the marinara and the garlic butter. I like where your head's at.
Okay.
I like where your head's at. Someone regarding the Olive Garden breadsticks, they say, hey, man, best fresh breadsticks, however, the worst to heat up later. I have not had that experience. And someone is coming after you, Mike. They say Little Caesar's Crazy Bread is greater than Olive Garden breadsticks. Quote, come at me, Mike.
You know what? I hit him back because I still disagree. Crazy Bread is not better than Olive Garden breadsticks because you still do need their marinara. However, Crazy Bread's fantastic.
I have not tried the Crazy Bread breadsticks yet.
Like this, it's a close match, but Olive Garden still wins.
Okay, and then somebody finally, they throw down the gauntlet. They want to know, Olive Garden breadsticks or Red Lobster cheddar biscuits?
Never had either one.
I got to go cheddar biscuits.
Miles!
Because I'm going to take a biscuit.
I haven't had either one.
I'm taking a biscuit over breadstick.
What?
No. I've never been to an Olive Garden. I've never been to a Red Lobster.
What?
Yes.
Oh, see, I think we covered this on Friday.
We did. You were gone.
He admitted it. He just likes to talk about places that he's never stepped foot in.
Exactly. I want to go because of the commercials.
Oh my God!
I've just never seen one.
Miles, when you're there, you're family.
Yeah. Where's the closest Olive Garden? All right.
There's one down in South Center.
I think that's the one I went to most. No, I went up north. Up
Okay.
north.
There's a couple up north.
Linwood?
Yeah. I
There's
think right in
one
that
in
area.
Linwood.
Yeah, Linwood's good.
Let's all go. I want to go, man. I don't care. I feel like I'm repeating a
Good
conversation.
Olive Garden, everybody. Come on.
I mean, look, here's
Interim night Olive Garden.
right. Like between Northgate and South Center, you'll have most of the casual dining restaurants.
Correct.
If you want fast food and you're not sure where it is, I would say Puyallup.
Yeah.
That's another good spot for that.
They got like everything
They do
down
have
there.
everything.
They got a Sonic. They got a Chick-fil-A.
We need to Uber Eats and some Cheddar Bay biscuits, the Crazy Bread, and the Olive Garden breadsticks, just so Miles can try them all. Now, Grant, I have not had the Little Caesars breadsticks, but we should just have a day. Just bring them here.
I know we got to move on, but here's the other problem.
We don't.
It's that, all right, Olive Garden
We got all day.
Olive Garden breadsticks are the best.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
to me, though, I'm kind of with Mike, like Crazy Bread is super delicious. That's a different level, man.
But what differentiates?
It's cheese.
Is that it? Is that the?
Well, you get stuffed crazy bread.
Yeah, the crazy bread does have a little sprinkle of Parmesan on top.
See, that goes a long way with me,
I think
man.
It's Parmesan.
Mm-hmm. It can be dangerous.
Is this better than garlic bread? Just good old fashioned garlic bread?
Yeah, similar. It's just it's
I have an affinity for garlic bread. That's what I want.
Then you need to try these, man.
It is like the Olive Garden. The Olive Garden breadstick basically is garlic bread. There's like butter on it. Like I don't know if they put garlic salt. Whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you like garlic bread, you'll love that. And like, trust me, there is hundreds of thousands of people that go to Olive Garden just to eat salad and the breadstick.
And the breadstick. Okay, that's true.
And the salad is great too.
That dressing's phenomenal.
Oh my God!
I've heard that the dressing is great. You know, I don't eat salads, but my wife's like the dressing.
Why does no one mention a main course there? That is a question.
It's not like lasagna.
Well,
right?
dude, go to Olive Garden, get the lasagna. It's never that.
It's breadsticks and then the salad.
Why?
They do have. Don't get me wrong. I like their food. It just
the chicken parm's great. Yeah,
you know what? I mean,
but no one brings it up.
Right, but that's how they get people in the door. That's the hype machine.
Because we're so Because we're so shocked about all these things that you get before the meal, which should not be the thing that speaks for your restaurant, but it is. I would think that even a curmudgeon like you would still actually like the Olive Garden salad. That's how freaking good it is.
Man, I know the
You've
dressing
never tried
is good.
it?
I've tried the dressing where I had a breadstick, and my wife goes, "Just try the dressing." So she pulled some over, and I dipped the breadstick, and I'm like, "You're right. This is fantastic. Maybe you can just ask for the salad dressing as a dipping sauce with your breadstick."
I'm looking right now.
That'd be the move for me.
And they sell the dressing on its own.
I know. I've seen it.
Okay.
I bought it.
I'm just looking at the Olive Garden right now, just to see what their food actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But notice the breadsticks.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Salad.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I told you,
but it's not the sales pitch.
When I lived with all those dudes in Baltimore, like once every couple months, we would put on suits and go to the Olive Garden. It was like a night out.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll dig it. Okay. By the way, on the subject of bread, I finally had a revelation after 53 years of life. I believe we talked about this Friday as well, but I'm having a late lunch with the parents, and I bring up wheat bread and how much I hated wheat bread and how since I've moved out of your home, I have stuck to it, just white bread. My mother was quick to point out, that's your goddamn father. Oh, yeah.
He likes wheat bread?
She does not like wheat bread. No, keep in mind, growing up, we never
I always just thought that was the healthy option because that was what you're supposed to do.
My mother was like,
people
no.
liked it.
My mother goes, I don't care what's in white bread. So I don't care I don't care if it's made out of cocaine and bat dung. I like white bread. She goes, your goddamn father loves wheat bread, actually likes the taste.
Oh.
That's the only thing we bought. Now, he was very silent during this conversation, but she was quick, and she clearly had to vent after 50-some years of marriage. I had no idea. I thought they were in cahoots, right?
I thought it was just always the healthy option that you did because your kids would have sandwich.
Yeah.
I thought they did it because they loved me. No, my father was like, I don't care about you, man. I like the taste of wheat bread.
Oh, so he just likes it.
He likes it. My mother, seriously, man, I had no idea that I was ripping the Band-Aid off of that wound. I mean, she let it flow. That's your goddamn father. Yeah, he likes that wheat bread. Even now that you don't live there, we get tiny loaves. He gets tiny loaves of wheat bread. I don't eat sandwiches. That's basically how the
angry.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was a bad.
I'm glad they could survive that.
Sorry. And somehow their marriage survived. Right. Yeah. Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one, Danny. Of all your friends, of all your family members, everyone you know, who are you afraid to get in a car with based on their driving skills? Maybe they drive too fast. Maybe they just scare the hell out of you. Who are you afraid to ride with in a car?
You could always say my Uncle Ray, and you'd be correct. You're not even related.
I would probably say my son's dad, my ex.
And what made him a bad driver, in your opinion?
I mean, he was terrible because he was just young and immature, and he had a small little Shelby Charger. It was like a 1986 Dodge Charger, like Shelby Charger, and he just thought it was the best thing in the world. He thought it was the fastest thing. He could beat any car, any V8 that would pull up. His little four-banger, he thought he could beat them, and he just drove like an idiot all the time.
All right. And has he changed his ways as time has gone on? Do you feel more confident about letting your son be in the car with him?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That helps.
I would say so.
If I were young and had a Charger, I get the feeling I would be speeding a lot too. Yes. You know, we got things like the Honda Civic, the Dodge Omni.
Yeah.
Remember that thing? That thing was so unaerodynamic that if you plunged that car off of a cliff, you would still hit the ground going 8 miles an hour.
I got to say, my uncle's the clear guy that I'm terrified with. He's got a big 4Runner. He tailgates everybody. He's always in a hurry. He weaves in between lanes. He is just gunning it.
Man, the apple fell so far from the tree.
No offense, Miles. My first thought was like, Miles makes me very nervous when he drives. He's like, my uncle. And I'm like,
I never realized
that's why I get nervous when I drive with you.
That's why I realize I'm a guilty party of this question.
All right, let me ask you this, Dad. Would you rather ride with cross-country trip, Miles or my wife?
I'm not. You know what? I think I know where you're
want
going.
to know.
Not answer.
My wife, as far as...
Well, your wife's going to get us there faster.
She will get you there.
Yeah, she'll get us. She'll also drive the wrong way down streets.
She doesn't care. She does not care. No rules apply to her, and don't tell her they do. Yeah. Somehow, I think she believes that on her license, it's like, accept me.
You can drink beer in the back of the car. She doesn't care.
Oh, no, she cares.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Well, she says to Ted. Ted's in the back seat of the car years ago.
This is in Baltimore.
And she says, Ted,
I was out here.
Do not open a beer in the back of my car. Ted goes, okay. And I swear to God, the next time you hear is, Ted, God damn it! Oh, you heard that?
Wait, I just like froze. Like, what?
She's looking at you in the mirror, holding the beer.
Mike, how about you? Who are you afraid to get in the car with? Anybody know?
I don't know. No, I tend to drive everywhere I go. I've heard that my mother-in-law's insane, but
okay,
I haven't done a whole lot of riding in the car with her.
I was terrified when my kids learned to drive, but now I feel like they're very good drivers. Just at the onset of it all, I was just, Dad, will you take me out? And yes, I will. I knew it's my job. Oh God, it was so terrifying because it's my car. I like my car. It gets me around. My daughter's, come to find out she already wrapped the car around the tree. Right. All these things. I'm just like, no.
I am terrified at the prospect of my daughter driving. My son, he's one of those guys. Ted will drive like you, right?
Yeah.
10 to 2, speed limit, all that kind of thing. He's just that kid. My daughter, it's not that she's out to like break rules, but even when you explain stuff, I'm like, I don't think she even heard 95% of what we said. So she'll do what she's got to do to pass the test. And I might tell him, like, dude, don't, I will bribe you to fail her.
Sure. Well, I know.
Seriously, the idea to more than anything else that might happen to my children's life, the one thing that truly, as a parent, has me terrified is the idea of my daughter behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Oh, I know. And I learned very, very early in life, as far as those kids are concerned, when they're in high school, look, you don't tell them you're going out of town. All right? You let them know when you get back. Maybe they reach out to you. Oh, I can't do it tonight. Yeah, baby. Let's maybe Sunday evening would be better. I don't say I'm in Florida right now visiting relatives, because if I do, then there will be a get together in my home. Mm-hmm. My weed will be smoked, and inevitably when I come in, my car is not parked the way that I park my car into the garage. So I tended to tell them after the fact.
Just got back in town.
That's a foul.
Why is that a foul?
That's a foul.
I would do that. If I'm their age, I'm guilty as charged.
That's how we know.
I know that. So all I'm trying to do is keep them from their natural instinctive behavior.
Right. It's just, if I was to bust into my dad's house for whatever reason I needed to and he wasn't there, yeah, I'd probably crack one of his beers. I'm not going to drink him dry before I leave.
But it's not you.
Yeah.
The mistake, your kids seldom are the biggest offenders in your home because they're the ones that take the heat. But what happens is I invite all of you guys over. Now, I have cracked a beer. Mike says, did you know your father had 3 bottles of vodka? We've done 2. Ted says, hey, man, he had 4 cases. And that's how I went down in flames when my parents went out of town. As far as all the stuff that went wrong in the house, and granted, all of it came down on me. You're the quarterback. Team loses, it's your fault, even if it wasn't, right? So I did the least damage because I got to live here. But my friends, you tell them things like, hey, whatever you do, this is the one rule, just the one, the hardcore, do not anyone sleep in my parents' bed. So naturally, that's where Leon went to sleep.
That's where my bed. Okay, I make my bed the same way every single day. I would rather have 2 teenagers that I don't know sleeping in my bed, being responsible and not driving, than I would knowing that they got into a car and went home. So the deal is this: you can cry it. Just if you come down, you stay. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So at least I'm 100% sure that is what happened on the times where I found like.
What else do you think happened in your bed? In your bed.
A blunt put out in a plant in the living room or whatever.
Oh, no.
Right. That's not your daughter's.
No.
That wasn't them who put the blunt
I don't roll blunts.
Right.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Reason we asked, who are you afraid to ride in a car with? That's where we've got. Police in Portland, Maine. They posted a pair of photos on Facebook over the weekend after a 26-year-old woman tried to drive her SUV down a set of stairs.
Okay.
Outside of police headquarters. They say she drove through their garage, then across a pedestrian plaza, which we've also seen, and tried to get back to the street by going down a set of cement steps. Her SUV either got stuck or she realized, but she could not back up from that point. She tried to claim she was just following her GPS, but police said her excessive blood alcohol level probably had more to do with it. She is facing drunk driving charges. They said she's lucky that no one was hurt. The incident that we saw was in the middle of the day. This person was not driving under the influence, I believe.
Completely sober. It's stupid.
Yeah.
She literally drove over a curb on the sidewalk. There is about a street with alleyway, for lack of a better term, between these buildings, except she also drove down like 8 stairs. And then when she got to the bottom of these stairs where we're smoking, she rolls down her window. She's very casual and just says, "Is this a street?" And we said, well, if the stairs didn't tip you off that it's not, the building blocking your path, that's another indicator. We're like oh no, and we had to go back inside before we saw how she got her car out.
Oh, my God.
I don't think she backed it back over the stairs.
It was the most shocking thing you'd ever watch. Someone just driving downstairs. It was not a big deal.
Is this a street?
I have been in a car that's on a sidewalk. Same thing. Just like, right, like you're driving through College Park. There's a bunch, it's a big campus and this and that.
Sure.
And the person that was driving, we were just like, is this a road? Now, granted, everybody's like 17, 18.
Still.
Right, but it's just like, this isn't a road. We're just on the sidewalk. And there's like a guy jogging by, and he's like, hey, this is a sidewalk.
It's a road now.
I've seen a car on the Burke Gilman Trail before.
What? Yeah.
That was a crazy one.
Yeah, like I'm saying, it happens more, like you guys saw that lady on the stairs, like I think it happens more than people realize. They just see something wide enough that kind of looks like a street, and they're like, oh, screw it, I'll just turn here.
Random.
Right on the spot. Someone said, can we get Leon on the show one day? I'd love to, but he's dead. I mean, just like, I would love.
Thanks, Miles.
The stories that this guy could tell you beyond belief, because I don't remember half of them. I probably don't want to know what he remembered, but yeah, he's not with us. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo! Zach, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's do this one. Zach, what would you say is your family's most notable physical trait of your family members?
Big ears, buck teeth, wide nose, receding hairline,
stubby legs, big feet.
Well, I kind of got the short end of the stick in my family. I'm only like 5'9", 5'10", but I've got most of my cousins all 6 feet and full heads of hair, and I got the receding hairline.
Oh, man.
So everybody else in your family is tall and has hair, and you are shorter, and you're going bald.
Yep.
Okay.
So do people, if you guys, like a family reunion or a big get-together at a restaurant, do people assume, like, you're the one who married into the family?
I can only imagine.
Or adopted.
Yeah, I don't really look like my cousins.
Okay. I think in my family, big nose and big ears. That's prevalent. Everybody's got big noses and big ears.
Ours is big calves, which if you're a dude is great.
Right.
It sucks for the women in our family.
We get
because they have them too.
Because they have them too, and like, the last, 10, 15 years, like, boots are really in fashion, but it's like,
you can't
for
wear
sure.
them.
Can't cover them calves.
I think all my cousins, all the female ones, shop at like the same place that's like, yeah.
Like wide-ass boots?
Welcome to wide-ass boots. You got that Smitty jean? We got you covered, girl. Wide-ass boots.
Because there was one year we were all in Disney World, and I just kind of cracked something like, wow, we're lucky. We have all these awesome thighs. My one cousin was just like, yeah, for you, the dudes, this sucks for us. I was like, it does kind of suck for you guys.
I guess it's like a neck beard, Cool for the guys. I don't think my mom's side, it's the wide nose, and my dad's side, everyone's just pretty.
Good looking guys?
Good looking. Half of them, terrible people, half of them, but good looking.
Okay.
Good looking.
And this is just looks, right?
Well, just any kind of physical trait.
Okay.
Well,
I was going to say the other thing, too, is we all have to do the terrible accent. Like, we can never say somebody's from Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin.
Right.
Like, I don't know why. Mm-hmm. It's not just me, folks.
But now it's become a trait in your family.
Everybody does it.
Is a lot of your family members hairy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a trait.
That's true.
Correct. All right, yeah. Hairy. These aren't going to be good traits. Let's just stop.
Hairy, big
short,
ass.
chubby, hairy dudes.
Yep. The reason we asked, what is your family's most noticeable physical trait? The Trapp family is from Esco, Minnesota. And they are officially the tallest family in the world with an average height of 6 feet 8 inches tall.
That's the average?
Chrissy Trapp loves saying that she is the shortest person in the world's tallest family at 6'3". She definitely qualifies as very tall, especially for a woman, but she is indeed the shortest of her immediate family. Her husband, Scott, is 6'8". Her 2 daughters, Savannah and Molly, both are 6'8" and 6'6", respectively.
Jesus.
The youngest member of the Trapp family, that would be Adam. He is also the tallest at 7'3". Together, they have a combined height equal to the length of half of a tennis court. Adam, the tallest of the Trapps, was the one who got the idea to try for the Guinness record for the world's tallest family. The whole family visited a doctor, an orthopedics doctor, to be officially measured. In order to make it official, each member had to be measured 3 times throughout an entire day, both standing up and lying down, with the average of these measurements being used to calculate their heights. Yes, the average height of a member of their family, the Trapp family, 6 feet, 8 inches tall.
Where do you buy your clothes? I mean, for anyone in the family, right? It's bad enough being a dude who's 6'8", hard to find, but it can be done. But I imagine if you're a woman who's 6'8", like, what is the store that says, oh yeah, we cater to women that are 6'8"?
Yeah, they
how many women are 6'8"? There's not even a lot of guys that are 6'8".
That's what they say.
God, man.
They said they went through all kinds of crap growing up. Growing pains, which left visible stretch marks on their body. One daughter, Savannah, told the Guinness Book that she once grew 1.5 inches in 1 month. God. Trapp family also experiences trouble when shopping for clothes and footwear because of how hard they find things in their sizes. But
just imagine that if they found that size, and you just kind of assume that whoever's going to wear it is like more on the heavier side. So I guarantee you, just to find something that covers their body, yeah, it's probably too wide for them.
If you're going to go on a family trip, it could be the car or a plane. If you get a minivan and say it's seat 7, you're seating 5 at best in that family, and aren't comfortable.
Yep.
On the plane, no one's comfortable.
But they do admit that being extremely tall does have some benefits. Growing up, the Trapp children were always recruited by colleges for both basketball and volleyball.
You don't say.
With one of their coaches openly admitting that you can't teach height.
Yeah.
Overall, they all agree with their stature has helped them and more than it's hindered them over the years. There's joy and freedom in embracing who you are. According to Savannah, rock what you got. Yeah. There's nobody else like you, and that is fantastic. More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.